Welcome to your third class on Introduction to Map Reading. In this class we'll discuss terrain features. There are 5 major and 3 minor terrain features. The 5 major terrain features are the ridge, hill, saddle, valley, depression. And the 3 minor are the draw, spur, and cliff. All terrain features are derived from a complex landmass known as a mountain or ridgeline. The term ridgeline is not interchangeable with the term ridge. A ridgeline is a line of high ground, usually with changes in elevation along its top and low ground on all sides. Here is a contour lines that represent a ridge line. A ridge is a sloping line of high ground, low ground in 3 directions, and high ground in 1 direction. Contour lines tend to be U-shaped or V-shaped. The closed end of the contour lines point to lower ground. So here you have the contour lines pointing towards lower ground. Here's a picture of a ridge. A hill is a point or small area of high ground from which the ground slopes down in all directions, with contour lines forming concentric circles. The inside of the smallest circle is the hilltop. It's right there. Here are the contour lines of a hill. Here's a picture of a hill. The next terrain feature is a saddle. A saddle is a dip or low point along a ridge crest, either lower ground between 2 hilltops or a break in a level crest. If you are in a saddle, there is higher ground in 2 opposite directions and lower ground in the other 2 directions. A saddle is normally represented as an hourglass or by figure-8 shapes and contour lines. So this is the center of the saddle. You have high ground in 2 directions, and you have low ground in the other 2 directions, and it's the hourglass shape. Here's a picture of a saddle. A valley is a reasonably level ground bordered on the sides by higher ground. The contour lines form a U. The lines tend to parallel a stream before crossing, if there's a stream. And contour lines crossing the stream always point upstream. So if yours downstream, all these contour lines are pointing upstream. Here's a picture of a valley. The next terrain feature is depression. A depression is a low point or hole in the ground with higher ground on all sides. It is represented by closed contour lines that have tick marks pointing towards the lower ground. So these are closed contour lines and the tick marks point down. Here's a picture of a depression. The next terrain feature is a spur. A spur is a short, continuous sloping line of higher ground, normally jutting out from the sides of a ridge. Contour lines depict a spur with a U or V shape pointing away from higher ground. Here's a picture of spurs. The opposite of a spur is a draw. A draw is like a valley but normally has less developed stream course than a valley. The ground slopes upward on the sides towards the head of the draw. Contour lines are V-shaped with the point of the V pointed towards the head of the draw or to higher ground. Here they're pointing up. This is the draw. Comes up into this saddle here. Here's a picture of a ridge line. The draw is coming down. And here's the spurs as well. The next terrain feature we'll discuss is a cliff. Cliff is a vertical or near vertical slope. A cliff may be shown on a map by contour lines being close together or touching, or by a tick carrying contour line. The tick always points towards lower ground. So here you have contour lines converging, and here you have the tick marks. Here's a picture of a cliff.